And here we go. We are live in Studio A. It's live radio, guys, right? And Kathleen Edwards live from Studio A. Today they're getting warmed up. You heard a little bit of the warm-up there. We love
it. Get dressed.
We are happy to have them live in Studio A. Tonight is a show over at Scully's. We've got the Billionaire album to talk about and where it all started, going back to 2003 with the debut. And the show tonight, it's a full band duo set up today. First off, welcome to our little studio.
Hi, Maggie.
Here.
Thanks for having us.
It's so great to finally meet you. I've seen you on stage a few times at conferences
lovely.
And whatnot, so we're happy to have you here after 20 plus years.
Well, it's nice not to be at a conference right now. That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, speaking of that, what are those like for you? Are they terrifying? Do you love them or a little? It depends.
Well, when it's for radio people, which is what you're referring to, it's always wonderful because you just hope that someone likes you enough to play you on the radio. And I guess it worked because here we are.
Here we are. And
Here we
we're
are.
happy about it. Well, let's get warmed up with the song and we'll come back and chat and
All
give
right.
some tickets away. The show is an earlier show, not too early, not too late. 6:30 or 6 p.m. doors, I believe.
I call it real adulting show times.
There you
meaning
go.
you have things to do in the morning, so we're going to start a show at 8 p.m. There's no opener, and we play for about 2 hours, and you're home by 10.
See?
You know,
I think it's a
Yeah.
proper technique.
I think it's smart, and I think everyone appreciates it. And you know, I like to be at the hotel by 10 p.m. watching Golden Girls, so so it works for me.
All right.
This is called When the Truth Comes Out. 1, 2, 3, 4. These days, oh, the truth is a fleeting. Hideaway, and you shouldn't have to. And back then, well, back then when you walked in the room, everyone turned and noticed. Oh, back then, no, back then everyone knew. He was lucky to have you. Kings lose their crowns. Nobody wants to stick around. When the truth comes out, when the truth comes out, time will be on your side. Back when they sailed across the ocean blue, trying to find something perfect, magic, yeah, magic, wild and cool. Yeah, you wouldn't believe it, carrying waves and lakes for days in the summer. The way you light up the room, laughing, holding court like you do. Guess the queen wouldn't have it. Kings lose their crowns. Nobody wants to stick around. Lock the doors and turn their backs, steal your cards and stack the decks while you were holding on to your ace of spades, your ace of spades. And kings lose their crowns. Nobody wants to stick around when the truth
Kathleen Edwards, live from Studio A, When the Truth Comes Out. A song you've been hearing on WCBE as well from the album, the studio release, Billionaire. And in a different version this afternoon and a different version you'll get tonight with the full band.
Hey, that's great. Thanks for mentioning that. It's nice to have doing songs differently every day. It's great. Yeah.
Well, we're glad to have you here. And well, tell us about this latest album with Jason Isbell. It's funny, we were on our website, we have the post that you were coming in, and above that, Jason's coming back to Columbus in February, just announced recently. And you worked with him at the helm, right? At the production helm of this latest record.
Jason co-produced the record with a woman named Gina Johnson, and Jason plays on all the songs, and he so graciously offered to produce this record, about 4 months before we went into the studio together. And he's a tremendous artist, and I feel very lucky that he agreed to be part of my project.
But you went in blind, kind of, with the studio recording part of it, or not knowing anybody other than him?
Yeah. Well, actually, I don't even know Jason very well either. I had opened some shows for him in the past, and it was the byproduct of me having done a small little covers project, a completely little independent covers project before I was really ready to go in the studio and record Billionaire. And I had selected some songs. Most of them are people who are my heroes, like John Prine and Tom Petty and the Flaming Lips, REM. And I chose a Jason Isbell song, Traveling Alone, and I sent it to his manager, and his manager, Tracy, so kindly forwarded it to him. And a few days later, he messaged me saying how much he liked the cover, and we just sort of got chatting. And then he offered to produce this record. He incredibly found a week in his schedule to do it. And when we walked in the studio, it was people he had selected, and all of them on day one were strangers to me. And by the end, they were not strangers anymore.
Now, were you vulnerable feeling like going in there with new songs? They hadn't heard them before. What's that like?
It was terrifying. I feel I'm lucky in that I've put out many records. I've put out now 7 records. But I think when you have new songs that nobody has heard, you sort of live in this, maybe like imagine being in, that scene in an institution where someone's in the
straitjacket?
In a straitjacket, and it's everything around you is dead air, and you haven't gone and actually shown these songs to the world, and so you sort of feel like, am I a crazy person, or are these songs even good? And so when you walk into the studio with a world-class group of recording engineers and studio musicians, it's a huge leap of faith. It's good for me.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know.
It sounds pretty good.
It's a good thing to remind ourselves every day. So there you go. There's my moment.
So but he did play on throughout the album too, right?
He did. Yeah. And a lot of the songs, we did live off the floor, and some of them are, one pass. It's not like, sometimes if people tinker on GarageBand, that you can cut and paste any little fragment that you need to make a recorded track. Well, these songs are, for the most part, just one passes live off the floor. I mean, we would run the song a few times, but those drum tracks are drum tracks from start to finish. Sometimes we didn't even use a click track, which means like a guide track. Jason's parts and his playing, same thing. Sometimes he just sat down and we ran the song a few times, and that's what's on the record. And kudos to everyone who played on it, because it's tremendously talented. It's the way records should be, frankly, but I'm proud to have been on that record.
And you're not a single release person. You are, give me the full kit and caboodle, the full album kind of gal.
Oh, you mean like release one song at a time? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess. I mean, there's so many good things about being able to just record one song and put it out in the world. I mean, that one of the great things about, the streaming world is that it's given people a chance to be creative in different kinds of ways. Sure. I really like the idea that you put together a body of work and that it's a snapshot of time, not just production-wise, but also where the songs are from. And for me, I'm a narrative songwriter. I write about the things that are sort of have been imminently just in my life, or stories that feel relevant to the moment. So I like that I'm putting out between 8 and 12 songs every time a record comes out, and that they're a reflection of that moment in time. That's how I keep track. I mean, my life is so crazy. I'm on the road all the time. The only way I know what year it was because I know what year the record came out.
Makes sense, though. I mean, it's a big deal when a record comes out. And there was a law there. You kind of stepped away. And, well, I guess tell us why what took you away and what brought you back?
Well,
to songwriting and performing.
Yeah. Well, I actually took a very long break from recording and writing and touring. Essentially, I told my sort of small fan base, or whatever my fan base was at the time, that I quit music. And I moved back to Ottawa, Canada, where I'm from, and I opened a coffee shop that I named Quitters Coffee, just to make sure that I sent the right message to myself. And I really thought that I was quite done. And part of it was clinical depression. And part of it was just being burned out and not having a chance to take the time that I probably needed to have a life outside of the life of a touring and recording artist. And I always tell people, the other day I did an interview with somebody on a podcast, and the question your toolbox for being a creative person. And my answer was life outside music. I think that is the thing as a songwriter that informs you as not only a person, which seems obvious, but what do you have to write about if you're not engaging in the world?
Very nice. Very well said. And that's a great question, too. I'm going to
Sure
use that one.
It is a great question. Yeah.
It's Kathleen Edwards live from Studio A. Tonight's show at Scully's. And caller number 3 right now wins a pair of tickets. You can check out details at celebrityetc.com and on our Facebook page as well. We've got a couple more songs to play for us, and the new album is Billionaire. And let's hear another song, and then we'll come back and chat and give another pair of tickets away. And we're also live on Facebook and YouTube. If you can't watch it now, you can watch it later. All right, what's this next one? This
next song goes out to all the Blue Jacket fans who will be thrilled to know that I just wrote a song that says, "The Leafs still suck at playoff time." Mexican blanket on the front seat. It's old to you, but it's new to me. Pick me up at the Roosevelt. Windows down, a 2-door suits you well. Boy grows up in the Sioux. Mom and Dad sure did love you. A hockey kid, weekends at the rink. You love the Leafs, even though they stink. And you're driving your little red Ranger all over LA. Someday soon you're gonna call home and tell us that you're gonna stay. Like a bird in a tree, if you look away, you miss a chance to see you fly away. You never met a pair of jeans that didn't fit you perfectly. Now you're playing in a band and you sure can drink. Long brown hair, your girl seems so sweet. But you'll always be that boy, lacing his skates. You miss every shot, you never take. A big old smile, you got a heart of gold. Channeling the spirit of Rick Danko's ghost. And you're driving your little red Ranger all over LA. And someday soon you're gonna call home and tell us that you're gonna stay. Bird in a tree, if you look away, you miss a chance to see it fly away. Driving your little red Ranger all over LA. Someday soon you're gonna call home and tell us that you're gonna stay. Bird in a tree, if you look away, you miss a chance to see it far away. Live by the ocean, have a beautiful life. The leaves still suck at playoff time.
Kathleen Edwards, live from Studio A. And tonight is a show at Scully's, and they'll go on right around 8. And we're going to have another pair of tickets to give away here in just a bit. And, celebrityetc.com and Little Red Ranger from the Billionaire release. Again, a duo version this afternoon, a full band version tonight, and, of course, the studio version that you have. And I'm sure the CD, vinyl, and all sorts of good stuff will be available at the show if they don't have the album already.
Yes, I actually am in the T-shirt business. I hope people buy shirts when they come to the show. No, I mean, I hope they just come and enjoy listening to music and
Yes.
yeah.
But it sure helps you stay strong on the road. A little stronger with some purchase. I mean, it's a good thing. Like, you can get music anywhere now, right? On the radio and
Yeah, it's true.
Mm-hmm.
But, also one of the things I've found, which it was quite unexpected, was I noticed that when people come to shows, they love to wear a shirt as sort of the proclamation of either music they love, or it's sort of the shirt they picked to see the show in. And sometimes, I can see the audience sometimes, and I love seeing the range of shirts people wear to a show to sort of, declare their affection for something. And sometimes it's like a Cheap Trick shirt, and oftentimes people wear their Jason Isbell shirts to my shows, which is lovely because it's a tip of the hat to him. And then sometimes people will wear shirts of mine from like my first few albums, and they probably dug them out of a deep drawer somewhere that they've held on to, and it's such a heartwarming feeling to see that. It's lovely.
That's
It's
great.
sweet. Yeah, I love
I'm
it.
sure. And I'm sure there's a variety pack, isn't there?
Yes. There have been many shirts, some better than others over the years. Yeah.
It's Kathleen Edwards, live from Studio A. Again, we're live on Facebook and YouTube as well. And it'll be on our website at wcbe.org. And you can also listen on the WCBE app anytime, anywhere. And, hockey fan, I'm guessing?
Sorry?
Hockey fan, a baseball fan. You're talking about.
Yeah. Well, it's
did
funny.
you grow up as a sports fan?
No, and I think that is why hockey makes it into a lot of my songs, was because my dad was in the Foreign Service. He worked for the Canada State Department. And so I grew up overseas, and I was a kid who played classical violin and did music. And when I came back to Canada as a high school kid, all the boys and many girls had spent their childhood weekends in the hockey rinks and my mom was a figure skater. She did that as a kid growing up, and it just was not part of my life. And so it's this sort of this draw of this wonderfully sort of nostalgic, frankly, stereotype, but I also have great affection for it. And that song I just played, Little Red Ranger, is really, I've had so many people who were hockey players or part of the NHL or alumni be sort of drawn to my songs. Some of them have become friends, people who are retired hockey players, because there's this great affection and crossover between hockey and music for some reason. I think it's because of this nomadic lifestyle that we have, where our lives are really we're traveling in this bubble, and I think there's just a camaraderie between us. And that song is about leaving Canada to become a musician in LA. And in the same way, it's about hockey, and hockey is with you everywhere you go. Your sports loyalties come with you wherever you end up.
Wow. And what a tough World Series. I know a sore spot. I was
Well,
rooting
it
for
was
you.
hard. It was hard
Yeah.
for my drummer, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
He's a longtime Jays fan, and it was
It was so close.
he almost didn't, he almost couldn't get out of bed the next day.
Well, speaking of mental health, I guess, what do you do to stay, keep your mind good on the road with the struggles you've had over the years?
Yeah, well, great question. Well, today, actually, Matt and I, before we came here, we found a beautiful walking trail in the woods near the hotel where we're staying, which is actually out near the airport. It was a beautiful trail with some bridges and a beautiful creek, and a long walk outside really helps. And it was actually the first time I have walked out in the woods for at least a week or two, which is something I do every day at home. What else do I do? I think the other thing is I surround myself with people who are. It is a tough thing to be on the road for weeks on end, and surrounding yourself with people who have your back and who, you have good days and bad days, and showing each other that grace and holding each other up is part of the survival. Healthy food. I'm going to go to Whole Foods tomorrow morning before we head to Pittsburgh so I can get a good salad.
Stock up.
If I could have a dog on the road, that would really knock it out of the park. But my dog stays home because she would hate life on the road.
Aw.
Yeah.
And well, speaking of your dog, and it may or not be the same dog that you walked through by this little pink door. I love the story about this and how magical the imagination can take you. Like I think Alice in Wonderland when you say this little door or Narnia, these places that you wonder what's behind the curtain, so to speak. Tell us about the pink door.
Yeah, I have a song on my new record called Little Pink Door, not that one. And it's about this beautiful little house I would walk by every day in St. Petersburg, Florida, where I now live. And, sometimes you just pass a house that's so charming to look at. When you walk by, you imagine what your life would be like if it was your house. And I wrote this song sort of about a time when I was younger and sort of, falling in love with someone who doesn't love you back. And I put it at that house that I walked by, that little pink door.
So pretty. And it is Kathleen Edwards live from Studio A. And just a couple more questions, I guess. Take us back to where it all started for you. You traveled around a lot. That you mentioned earlier with your dad being in the service, right?
That's right. I had an incredibly, vibrant young life. My dad was he's a diplomat. Technically, biologically, and I grew up in Ottawa, and we were posted overseas a few times in my youth, and it really, even though when I was a teenager, all I wanted to do was live in Canada on the same street and have the same friends from public school until the end of high school. Really, what that life gave me was a chance to see the world and to be comfortable in completely foreign environments. And I think what it did unknowingly at the time was prepare me for this incredible life where I get to travel and play music and be in a different city every day.
And were you writing or journaling growing up? And when did that? Oh, well, you played earlier fiddle, or what were you?
Yeah, I studied classical violin growing up. And, did orchestra and performed at like Kiwanis music festivals. But I got also sent to summer camp. And that's when the dark side got me. And I fell in love with singing songs around the campfire. Nice. And that took me into the world of, the great, Canadian and American songbook. And I fell in love with Tom Petty and Neil Young. And then when we were posted overseas, music was my constant companion. My friends were not constant, but music was.
Love it. It's Kathleen Edwards, live from Studio A, full band tonight over at Scully's. And take us back to your mentality of putting out a record in 2003 and one in 2024-25.
Oh my gosh.
The comparison.
Well, here's a great little fun fact. When I signed, at the time in 2002, when I actually signed my record deal, I signed to Rounder Records, which had historically been a bluegrass label. They had Rhonda Vincent and oh my God, I want to say Natalie McMaster, but it's Alison Krauss, sorry. And they were a folk label, bluegrass label that started to get into Americana. Really, they were ahead of the curve. When I signed my record deal, there was not even a clause for digital on the contract. That's how quickly things changed. And by 2005, when my second record came out, digital iTunes downloading was a real thing, and it happened very quickly. I think music has been at the forefront of the technology shift, and we have had to adapt as artists, I think, more than anyone, and 10 years ahead of the curve of everybody. And it's not easy. It's not always fun to have to be so focused on maybe the actual marketing or the ways that people actually access your music. You just want to play music. But the one thing also it has done is made me feel that just putting your head in the sand actually just makes you feel old and that you're being left behind. And to engage on things that feel uncomfortable also sometimes end up being things that you enjoy engaging with. Like, I really now enjoy social media because I feel like, for example, there was a guy today on Facebook who said, "Can't wait to see you Saturday night in Columbus." And I was like, dude, the show's tonight. And he went, "Oh my gosh, what?" And so thankfully he's not showing up to Scully's on Saturday. He's coming tonight. And that is the one of the great things about social media.
Yeah,
that
right.
You can connect with people.
Yeah, there's certainly good and the bad in that world, right? But that's one of the good ones.
Yeah.
And I guess a little personal note, my dad used to say, "I'm rich in a lot of ways," and it was never in monetary terms. Much like this album, when you say billionaire, it's a whole different meaning and an ode to a friend.
It is, yeah. Go back to how we stay well. I have learned that surrounding myself with people who not only have my back, but that I take a lot of joy and pride in having friendships with, enrich my life incredibly. And Matt Susich is here playing in the studio with me. He's one of my best friends, and I'm so lucky. And, not everybody, some friendships fall away in time just for reasons that you don't know when you're young. You change and you grow in ways, and some people pass away, and some of them are hard losses and tragic losses, but the memory of those people are the things that enrich our lives and make us feel grateful that we had them when we did. And grief is unexpressed love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got me going. Here we go.
Was it about your dad? Were you
Well,
thinking anything about your dad?
A mixture.
Yeah. Yeah. Billionaire was written about, the song is written about a young woman who, in the days that I had quit music, she came into my coffee shop. And by the end of me owning that coffee shop, she ran that whole show. And she very tragically passed away from a medical issue that was sudden and tragic. And, sometimes I would have switched places with her because she was so young, and I would have loved to see her live her whole life. And I don't get control over that. But remembering her and telling people about her is the only way I can honor her incredible memory,
Awesome.
And I know that's a shared experience. That's how we feel about the people we've lost. We can't wait to tell you about someone great. Yeah.
It is Kathleen Edwards, live from Studio A. And we'll do a ticket giveaway after this last song. I apologize. Thank you so much for being here.
You don't have to apologize. It's understandable. That's, connection and profound feelings of no matter whether they're joy or sadness are really what make us, you can't have great moments in life if you don't have difficult ones. So I understand. Yeah. Speaking of which, we're gonna go out on this song Glenfern, which is from my last record, which tour the world and tell everybody about your new project. And this was a song that I wrote when I first started writing songs again, and it was to my former guitar player, who was also my husband when we didn't stay together. But it was a song that I never got to write when we were together, which was to thank him for all the ways in which he had my back when I was first starting out in music. And, you know, I played on the David Letterman show 5 times, and the first time I did was the day my record came out in the United States in 2003. I was completely unprepared for that experience. And he was there standing beside me going, "You're going to be great." And this song is about where we end up in life and how the hard things are the things that make the good moments really shine, right?
Nice.
And playing here with me is Matt Susich, of course. Great songwriter. You should check him out. I go walking in my neighborhood, I wonder how I even got here. It seems so long since those Hamilton days and the first house we bought together. And the online street view used to crack me up. It was you standing in your slippers. We were on the front porch with a Siamese cat, but it's not up there anymore. And I will always be thankful for it. I was so lucky to be under your wing, but I think I'll end up growing. Now when I find myself looking back, I think of all the cool stuff that happened. We had a tour bus with a bed in the back. We bought a rock and roll dream and it was total crap. Well, we still toured the world and we played on TV. We met some of our heroes. It almost killed me, and I will always be thankful for it. And I will always be thankful for it. Guess some things, well, we should have said, 'cause it was too late when we did. Like, you changed too much, you didn't change, and I'm sorry for everything, for everything. Early days, we were playing at the Horseshoe, and I was drinking too much whiskey. You always knew how to set me straight, even though I didn't want to hear